something you should try. It's crunchy, green, and yummy, and it's about to blow your mind. It's low on calories, and it looks like mini trees. When you're having dinner with me, broccoli, I chop it, steam it, I chop it, steam it, I chop it.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Let's Talk Phys Ed. It's season 2, episode 23. Glad you can join us again. I am Jason Steele. I'm your host. With me as always, Tanner Rose. Tanner, how's it going today?
Oh, it's good. You know, tomorrow's my daughter's birthday. She's going to be 4. Check this out. She doesn't know it yet.
Unicorn shoes. Don't you have the same pair?
I couldn't find them in my size. But your little feet, we could probably get them for you.
Now, I'm a size 10. Do they have size 10?
Bigger.
Yeah, older.
Bolder. All right. I don't know. So, hey, St. Patty's Day. Check this out. We've got Clayton Ellis here.
Yes. How about that? Clayton Ellis in the house, and he came prepared for St. Patty's Day, and it looks like he's kind of foreshadowing maybe a little bit of what he might be wearing at the secretive, unplanned pool party at Shape Tampa. But Clayton Ellis is here. Clayton, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? If we don't know you, I'm sure everybody who watches the show is Clayton anyway. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I am Clayton Ellis. live in Aurora, Colorado. I was the 2010 high school physical education toy, and a few years ago I switched to a middle school here in Colorado. But I did wear this shirt for your party, except for I will be boarding my plane when you are having that party, so I don't get in until the next morning. So,
well, the party might still be going.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. What are you talking about?
Like I said, I'll be at the first session on Wednesday morning looking for you guys.
Perfect. We will be there. We might, have a coffee in hand, but we will be there. So we want to talk real quick about your willingness to be a candidate for the Shape America Board of Directors. I know it's a huge job, and some people kind of shy away from it because of the work that's involved. But we know that you've done a lot of different things in your career. With the Board of Directors job, voting started recently. I think it was last week, and I don't think you guys really know until after Shape Tampa. Is that correct?
Yeah, we find out on the Friday business meeting is when we find out.
Sure. And so, but what we'd like to talk about now is if you're elected and if you move into that position, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish? Like, what are some of the roles and responsibilities that you'll have, and some of the things that you want to do with that?
Well, first of all, a little disclaimer too, because I was on you guys' calendar long before I was a board of director candidate.
Absolutely.
So it's not a campaign show, but you can still vote for me. Well, all my information is on, and as well as the other candidates, their information is on the Shape America website. I encourage everybody to go and listen to the bios or read the bios and listen to the recordings that are all on the website and everything. But it's just kind of a natural next step for me because I've been at the state leadership. I've been on the Shape Colorado board for many, many years. And then I moved up to the Central District board, and I'm past president of Central District as we speak right now. And so this is kind of just the natural next step for me. So, it's been an interesting few years with the unification, going from AFERD and the 6 districts and moving into one unified organization with Shape America. So I think one of the things that I would like to see is maybe I have that experience back with the history where we can look back and we can say, okay, here's where our divisions were, and here's the people that we had in the historical perspective of here's the great things that we were doing in the past, and then try and bring some of those things forward, to make sure that we're hitting all those genres. And so we're talking about the girls and women in sport and dance and the adapted physical education and all the different recreation even, and even the sport sciences and the research people, and trying to bring them back into the fold, because I think we did lose some of those when we did unify, because they said, well, we're just, jumping ship, and we want to bring some of that back.
Sure.
Yeah, I know people are going to really like that. So specifically, when you were talking about that video link. I clicked on that, and I'm listening through all these things. And was this like your 34th year of teaching? Is that right?
Yes, it's my 30. It's 35 now. After.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 35 years of teaching, and you talked for like 3 minutes with no breath. It was just like boom, 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 just listing all these projects. It was so many projects.
Right.
It was unbelievable. So I know everybody just wants me to tell you or have you answer the question about like why broccoli, but I really want to know, like, and we'll get to that broccoli thing in a little bit. But what I really want to know is, of all the projects you've done in the past that maybe you're like your past and you moved on, what's the one that was your favorite? What's your favorite project you've been involved in?
Oh wow, they're all so different that they're all. I've enjoyed each and every one of them, so it's hard to say that I have a special one. There's special groups that I worked with as far as the Presidential Youth Fitness Program and Let's Move Active Schools, and then I don't think it's been advertised enough, but the 4th edition of Physical Best is coming out here in Tampa, and I'm one of the editors for the activities for that, so I'm really proud of that. It took a long time for me to put that stuff together, and I worked with Joanna Fairber and Jackie Conkle on that project. So really looking forward to that coming out in Tampa.
Awesome.
I took a hold of that.
Yeah. And I thought, I'm sorry, Tanner, what'd you say?
I said, we're going to have to get a hold of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's awesome. I really did think you were going to say the group that you worked with this last summer at the Sally Shearer Leadership Summit was probably going to be the best.
It was the best.
We got to hang out, but it didn't happen. That's fine.
But no, all the Sally Shearer Summit, and I had a call with some of the Shape people this week, and I said, that as far as leadership development, I think the Sally Shearer Leadership Summit should be a model for the entire country because it's such a unifying event that we have every year, and it just gets kind of the states within the districts on the same page, and it's a great event. I really did enjoy that.
That was fun. So you've been teaching for 35 years now.
Yes.
And I'm guessing that your first teaching gig, you were not wearing the same thing that you taught like in this last week. So Tanner and I and the viewers want to know, like, go back day one of 35 years ago. You walk into your first teaching job. What are you wearing? What does Clayton look like? Because we all can tell right now you're a dapper guy, right? You've got your floral shirt on. You're getting ready.
Right.
What did Clayton look like day one 35 years ago?
Well, I kind of had to change a couple of times during the day when I first started out, but it wasn't too far off from what I wear on a daily basis now. It was typically the shorts with the sweats and a polo shirt is probably what I wore. But once I got into my real educational jobs, because I did start out kind of part-time, but when I got into the coaching end of it, then I had the Rydell spot built shoes with the knee-high striped socks.
I was going to say you had to have knee-high socks.
And the bike shorts and
the bike shorts
and the two snaps, and I had the shorts and the pants.
Oh man!
Game day we wore the snap-on pants, and then you had a mesh polo shirt for game day. So, and then I coached in Texas for quite a while. We made fun of it because the Friday Night Lights kind of coaching program, we had to wear our uniform throughout the day as coaches. So
right,
we had a Monday, Wednesday uniform, a Tuesday, Thursday uniform, and then a game day uniform that we wore.
That is so perfect because that's exactly what I envisioned. I like, geez, I don't know what's the one movie, Dazed and Confused, right at the beginning. The coaches are standing there and they've got their bike shorts and the knee socks. I'm like, oh man.
Yep.
Tell me Clayton had that
with the ripples soles spot built shoes.
Yeah. If you had a photo of that and you could just like tweet it out sometime this week, that'd be perfect.
Oh, I don't know. I think I do have one from one of the schools that I was at. By the way, see what's behind me. That's about a 2-story drop for her behind over my shoulder.
That's a person waiting in suspense for that.
Yeah.
We can edit that out too, right?
Oh yeah, with this high level show, you bet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you know how when people are like fantastic coaches or they're really great athletes and they retire, and then pretty soon somebody will name something after them. Like there's the Roberto Clemente Bridge, and then like Niall Kinnick, they named the stadium after him here in Iowa City, and then like Coach K Court out at Duke. So let's pretend when you retire here, I don't know how many you're just going to teach, but when you retire, that your school says, hey, we can't name the gym after you, but we'll let you go into the gym closet and we'll name one piece of equipment after you, just the Clayton piece of equipment. What are they going to name after you, and why is it that piece of equipment?
That's my first impression would be probably the Wave Master punching bag. or that would be the one, just because I am a martial arts instructor, so I do
I didn't know that.
with my classes, and that's actually the unit that I'm in this week. So another one might be like the sandbells that I fought to get through a grant and finally got a whole class set of sandbells.
So it'll be like a plaque above the sandbells that say Clayton Ellis, or maybe it'll put your picture on the kickboxing bag.
Probably would do that.
Yeah, picture on the kick bag there. So NCAA tournament bracket for basketball is out. Now we're going to get into a pretty fun question here. You don't get to pick all of them, but we selected a few that we think are kind of like the most interesting ones. And we're going to have you pick who you think's going to win, but you cannot pick it based on basketball skill level or your knowledge of basketball at all. So you have to pick it on like interesting knowledge that you have of that team or that area. So, which mascot is better, or which mascot would be able to eat most broccoli in one sitting, or the city that has the coolest college, or whatever it is. So I'm actually going to ask both of you. So I'm going to ask.
Hopefully I'll know. There's a couple teams I don't even know anything about.
I know. That's usually how it goes, right? So,
I'll go first for the first.
I'm going to ask Tanner first, and then we'll ask you. So, Tanner, who wins between Farley Dickinson or Prairie View?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Prairie View because I've got a school here in town, and they're Prairie View, and they are known for having the best broccoli salads in the city. So definitely Prairie View because the broccoli salads.
Okay, so that answer has been used. All right. Yeah. Farley Dickinson. I hope I'm saying that right. Farley Dickinson, or Prairie View?
Prairie View.
Going with Prairie View. Why?
Going with Prairie View because I have some friends that have attended Prairie View.
Well, there you go. Okay, so who knows where Prairie View is?
So that's a real college.
Yes, it is. It is actually. It's meant for African American. It's like a Grambling State. It's a college down in Texas around College Station.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's in Bryan, Texas.
I think you know what? I think we're gonna go 3 for 3. I'm gonna go Prairie View as well because that's really all I have around here is Prairie Views. It's, you can see your dog run away for a couple days around here. So, okay, next one: Louisville or Minnesota? Tanner.
I'm going Minnesota. You see, my folks live in Minnesota. When I drive through Minnesota, I always see the Spam Museum, or when I drive through, I think it's Blue Earth, they've got the 50-foot tall Jolly Green Giant. So I'm going Minnesota. They've got interesting things to see.
All right. Clayton?
I'm going to go with Minnesota for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think that's going to be one of the upsets. And then, last year in Nashville, I stayed in the Hilton Hotel, and I got on the elevator, and this guy got on, and we're riding down the elevator. I looked at him and I said, "Hey, do you play basketball?" He said, "Yeah, I play a little bit." He said, "Where'd you play?" And he said, "Louisville." And he said, "Oh, a buddy of mine coaches at Louisville," and a buddy of mine was an assistant coach at Louisville, and he says, "Yeah, I'm the one that hired him." He was the head coach of Louisville, riding the elevator with me in Nashville.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't recognize him, but I knew one of his assistants.
There you go. I'm gonna go with Louisville because I'm from North Dakota, and the Minnesota Gophers, we just don't see eye to eye. So any chance I can see them go down, that's fine with me. So I probably just made a few fans of the show a little upset, but that's all right. All right, next one: Tennessee or Colgate, Tanner?
I'm going with Colgate because I hear that they have one of the better dental colleges in the United States. They have a really good program. In fact, I want to say something like 80% of their students floss at Colgate. So, I'm going with Colgate.
Big floss. All right, Clayton, I don't know how you can top that, but
well, I got to go with the Vols just because I volunteered for all this time that I've spent with all these organizations. So I'm going to go with the Volunteers.
There you go. I'm going to go with the Vols as well because I'm an Aquafresh guy, and I hated Tanner's explanation. So I'm going to go with Tennessee. All right, next one. This is a big one. North Carolina Central or North Dakota State. Remember, the winner of this one gets to see Duke. So
because I know they get to see Duke, I'm changing my answer. All right. I'm going for North Dakota State, mainly because I heard that they grow the best beards of all the colleges in North and South Dakota. It's a fact. It was in one of those admission magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Clayton.
I got to go with North Dakota State for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a Central District state and team, and I feel kind of bad for them because they call it a bison rather than a buffalo. Everybody knows it's really supposed to be the Colorado Buffaloes. And I don't know why Colorado Buffaloes aren't even in the tournament. When you got somebody like North Dakota State or Prairie View, Colgate.
I couldn't tell you.
Burn. Good one.
I have to go with North Dakota State for multiple reasons. I'm not even wearing a North Dakota State hat. Technically, this is a UND hat, but I'm going to go North Dakota State. My wife went to school there. I've got friends that have gone there. Dr. Joe Deutsch is teaching there, so obviously, they're going to win there. So shout out Dr. Joe Deutsch.
That's right.
Next one, Iowa State or Ohio State? Tanner, I'm interested as to who you're going to pick for this one.
Typically people can't get Iowa and Ohio straight, so does it really matter? I mean, they're just going to – but I'm going to go with Iowa State because, Iowa State's got the biking tradition from biking from the Missouri to the Mississippi. So we're going with the RAGBRAI people. Iowa State, the win.
All right, Clayton. Iowa.
Yeah, I'm going to go Iowa State or Ohio State. I'm probably going to upset some people out either way. But they're both red. But Iowa State, their other color is gold, and gold is worth a little bit more than silver. So I'm going to go with Iowa State.
God, it's like he knew that question was coming. Honestly. Announcement. He did not, but he's thinking on his toes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who I want to go for in this one. I'm going to say Iowa State simply because of Clayton's answer too. I like the red and gold over the red and silver, and Ohio State wins plenty. Iowa State doesn't ever win anything, do they? I don't know.
They've won the Big 12 championship 4 of the last 6 years. Don't tell that to Sarah because Sarah's probably going to be upset that they beat Kansas the other night. But
they probably had more snow this year than Ohio State.
I'll give you that one. So Iowa State it is too. So, all right.
We're moving on. We'll have to come back and check that. Actually, how about one of our viewers do the research for us and tell us how we did?
That would be fantastic.
All right, so we started something last week. We're going to try to have our viewers respond to a question too. We're hoping that they'll use the hashtag Let's Talk Phys Ed in their response. That way they can be a little bit part of our show. Feel free to tag Clayton or Jason or myself. So this week on Twitter, I shared my elementary nutrition lesson plan with the shape GLOs, which is kind of just a plug that I wanted to say. Anyway, it got me thinking, besides broccoli, what one nutritious food do you think that the entire PE world could get behind? And then we could all start hashtagging it like you do with hashtag broccoli.
Well, at first, I think, shouldn't all PE teachers adopt like a vegetable?
But if we all adopt a vegetable, it'll be a crazy mess.
Well, it'd be a salad.
It would be a salad. What's the new veggie that we'd have to do?
How about going way out there? How about hashtag Spargel?
What is Spargel?
We wouldn't know how to spell that. Can you know what we can spell?
It's a white asparagus.
Doesn't asparagus have like this much white on it anyway? Is it just like that part?
Well, Spargel is the whole thing is white.
He is totally making this up.
I don't know. I don't think
get your viewers on Google.
Yeah. It's a good thing this is a viewer question, so they can prove to us that he is much smarter than we are.
Spargel.
It sounded, yeah. All right. Sounds hard. Almost.
Carrots would be too obvious, wouldn't it? Or
yeah, we need something interesting. We need something that we can all get behind, with your broccoli stuff, and something that we could all, that makes a lot of sense. So,
right.
But that's why it's a viewer question. One of the reasons it's broccoli is because it is an alpha vegetable. Can you listen? We'll save it for the end. We've got a specific question for that. I would like to know why it's an alpha vegetable.
We'll get to that.
So
you want an answer that's more of a beta vegetable? I'd have to think a little bit more.
So I've met you a couple times, and in the time that I've known you, the time we've hung out, something always funny is going on. We're always laughing. We're always giggling about something. We made fun of Brandon and his toes. I felt super bad. I had to apologize like over and over.
No, he didn't mind that at all.
Sends me pictures about and gifs of feet and stuff. So, but we kind of want to know, what is the best or the worst practical joke that you've ever played on someone, or that anyone has ever played on you? So you get to pick if it was the worst one or the best one. Something to make the viewers giggle a little bit.
Well, going back about 25 years, I opened up a new middle school in Houston, Texas, and this is just the first one that came to mind. It was the first video-based and database school, and I was thinking about how I was going to bring this into your show anyway. But because being the techie guy from way before you guys were even around, we didn't know how to run computers or anything, but we had to run our computers. Our principal didn't give us a grade book or anything. She said, "You're going to use computers. You're going to do everything on computers." So we spent a year learning how to use these Apple IIe computers, and so one of my teammates, the head football coach at this school, he really had a hard time picking up the computer skills and everything. So if you remember, when you can on an old Apple IIe or on a Macintosh, you could record a sound, and then when you made a mistake on the computer, that sound would play. And so what I did one time was that me and my other teammate, we recorded the toilet flushing in the locker room. So we ran the microphone into the bathroom, recorded the toilet flushing. And so every time the head coach made a mistake on the computer, you had to wait for the entire toilet to flush before he could do anything else.
Oh, that's good.
That's well thought out. Oh, man.
He was a practical joker before practical jokers.
That's right.
So you got some good stories like that. Tell us another funny story about some time in your teaching career that maybe is going to make us all laugh too. Anything else that stands out? Like your go-to story that you would tell if, say, you're retiring and somebody says, "Hey, what's the funniest thing that ever happened?"
Well, I know that you guys usually ask what's one of the funniest things that you've seen in your teaching and stuff. So I had heard that before, so I was thinking about it, and I do have one. There's probably a parent note that's still on the bulletin board in that office in Texas, and it was I got a note from a parent one day, and it was, please don't make Joey run in physical education or gym class today. Joey's fat and out of shape, and he has no air in his lungs, and we don't want him to die of a heart attack. Signed, Pastor such and such. Wow. That was one of the funniest notes that I ever got. And the kid was fat and out of shape, and he was not a very good runner and things like that. But he did grow up to be like a D1 lineman in Texas, so he ended up doing all right.
So he did okay, even though he wasn't allowed to participate in quote unquote gym class, right? Gym class,
but he ended up doing fine later on. That note beat out the one probably that the parent wrote that said, please don't make such and such participate in class because they have boils in their rectum.
Wow. You want to talk about good timing. When you're filming your Let's Talk Phys Ed show, and he's talking about boils in the rectum, as your wife is walking through the kitchen, you get a pretty funny look out of the corner of her eye. So.
Are you in the kitchen?
I am in the kitchen. She is right here. Giggling and walking away now. So
I thought you were like in a bathtub or something.
No.
Like that.
That's what I thought the first time I saw it too.
No. There's the winder.
Okay, I was gonna say it looks like an old school Atari video game threw up on your wall.
Right. So writing down now, buy white blue curtains, Clayton.
You want to use my shirt?
I do actually. Is it big enough? I don't know, Clayton.
It might be.
Okay, so the time has come. Everybody's been waiting all episode. Everybody wants to know, like, what is with broccoli? Okay, I know the story because we've hung out a few times, and I specifically asked you, so I know the answer. But what is broccoli? Like, why #broccoli? Tell the viewers what's going on there.
Well, like I said, if you're teaching health and nutrition and you want to talk about what students are supposed to eat, like you don't want to be #hot Cheeto or anything. you want something that's going to be nutritious for them. So, and I think all physical education teachers should adopt some kind of vegetable. But it was back in the year 2013